Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here to share with you today. This was day 4 of Scrapathon, so it's the entire video. You're going to get a class sample. So what Scrapathon is every day of the month I came up with a new challenge and a video that went along with it. So right now, because of everything that's going on, I decided to put Scrapathon 5 on sale for $20. But not only that, you are going to get, once you join the Facebook group, you're going to get 7 files, digital files that include viewfinders and labels that you can download and print over and over again. And those viewfinders and labels are perfect for the embellishment foundation. So that's $14 worth. So if you take the $20 and you take $14, so right now really you're getting the class for $6. I've extended the class by a few days, so that's going to be over 40 videos, plus we've done 4 lives already. I've already scheduled 2 for next week. So if you're interested, you can go to NicoleJones901.com or you can click on the link in the description box below. So now here's the video for day 4, which the challenge was splat. Okay, so now we're on to day 4, and day 4, the theme is splat. So what I use for this is these distress stains, and they're not the paints, they're the stains. I have to say I did try with the paints and it didn't have the same effect, because the regular distress stain is more like watered down ink instead of paint, so it's more fluid, so it works much better for this technique. And what I did was I chose a page kit, and I chose one that had quite a few colors in the background. That way I could match my inks with the pattern paper. Now I'm going to take those distress stains, and before I turn the camera on, I just made sure that they were primed. So basically I turn them upside down and I make sure that they were nice and juicy, and then you just take your dabber, splat it on to your layout, and it makes these amazing splatters. Now I've done this a few times in the past, but what I did different this time is that I added so many colors, and I'm only doing like 2 splats per colors because I have 7 different colors, and I'll let you know in a little bit what colors those are. But I tried to, as I'm figuring out where I'm going to put it, I'm trying to put it with other colors, and I really like, I'll show you some close-ups at the end, and I really like the splatter that it does. Like right there I just showed you, it's just so nice, and I really like the different colors that I chose. And again, I just went with some pattern paper that I had, and I matched some distress inks to match it. Now, while I'm matting my photo in the center of my cardstock, I'll tell you exactly which distress stains that I used. Actually, 2 of them were from Hero Arts. One is called Green Hills and the other one was called Tide Pool. And all the other ones were distress stains. One was Carved Pumpkin, Candied Apple, Worn Lipstick, Fossilized Amber, and Faded Jeans. I had so much fun making this layout, and it didn't take a long time at all, and it has such a striking, when you look at it, it's so striking, and I just love it. I love all the colors. And this background, again, it is a pattern background, but it's a very subtle background. You'll see it in the close-up pictures. It's a white background with some tiny dots, but they're very faded, so it very much reads as just a plain white background. But where this worked perfectly, I just used this background instead of using a white cardstock. Now, like I said, I matted my photo with a thin border, some navy cardstock, and then I took that stripe background and I made a thin border of that. And then when I wanted to use that dot pattern paper, but the stripes on the dots just was too much. So I'm looking for another sheet of that navy cardstock, cut it out of the center. And this time I'm going to make a bigger mat. It's kind of wonky right now, so I'm just going to take out my trimmer and I'm just going to straighten it out. And what I was trying to do was make sure that my photo fit in between those circles. So I have a nice border of circles all around my photo. So on the two vertical sides, they're blue dots, and then at the top it has the rest of the colors that I used to make my background. And because that striped paper was so bold, I needed a bigger mat to separate between that line pattern paper and the dot pattern paper. So just by making it about 1/4 of an inch, it was enough so that now my photo really stands out on those two busy backgrounds. Now that I have my photo, my background figured out, my photo figured out, now I'm going to start playing with the embellishments that I put together with this kit. And I'm going to use those splatters that I did as a place to put a lot of my embellishments. Now, if you notice also, when I did my splatters, I didn't fill out the entire background. Sometimes less is better. And if I would have started to fill that whole background filled with splatters, it probably at one point would have become overwhelming. So what I tried to do was, as I was doing my splatters, I tried to concentrate my splatters in little groups of 3 to 5. I tried to keep it so that it was uneven numbers with the splatters and not all over the place either. And then that way there's still a lot of white space, if you want to say, in the background, but there's enough color that it does really pop on the layout. That is one of those things that it's probably good to take just a piece of scrap, white cardstock, and then just practice, try a few different ways of how you'd like your splatters to go. And usually when I would do something like this, I would do at least 3 of one color. But because I had 7 different colors, then I found that, 21 splatters was going to be quite overwhelming on the layout. And by just doing 2, and the way I looked at it, the orange and the yellow were kind of close in color. The red and the pink were kind of in the same tones, and then the green and the blue. So I was okay with not having 3 of each color. Again, because I think if I would have had too many splatters with this, I think it would have been, instead of the wow effect, it would have been overwhelming, too much on the layout. And wouldn't that be amazing for a page for fireworks? I think that would look so cool if you had pictures of fireworks and that you would use those in the background. Of course, matching the colors to the fireworks maybe in your picture. I found that all the colors and everything went really well with this picture. This is a picture that I took on the cruise ship, and it was a picture of it was a virgin, a pina colada, but it just reminded me just the colors of summer and warmth and just some cold drinks. My distress stain is not something that I get to use a lot, so it was fun to be able to use it in this way. Like I said, I've done those splats before, but I would do like one color. So this was a fun way to add a lot of color to my layout and get to use a product that I don't use a lot. And the last thing, as always, I'm going to add a few enamel dots, and that's it. That's going to complete this layout. And tomorrow you got 30, so we'll see you there.